Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.
Financial year, and also a very warm welcome to this show, which is called Coffee and Crypto. I'm Arun Singh, and of course the brand new financial year is here, but our focus will be on cryptocurrency. What all changes for you as a crypto investor in this new financial year? So right in the beginning, let's give you a quick roundup of what is going to happen for you as an investor or a trader. So all crypto gains from various virtual digital assets will now be taxed at a flat rate of 30%. New crypto tax rules, they don't differentiate between short-term capital gains or long-term gains. No bias on basis of income slab as well. Flat 30%. Now this includes gifts in the form of cryptocurrency as well. The government has introduced norms by disallowing losses incurred in one virtual digital asset to be set off against an earning in another, and we've covered this several times in our previous episodes. Now, a Finance Ministry official quoted by news agency ANI said, "Our officers will keep a close eye on the cryptocurrency exchanges, which are around 40 in number. This is in connection to the new tax regime, which is applicable from today, that is 1st April 2022. Now, 1% TDS will come into effect from July 1st, 2022. How has all of this affected crypto markets? We'll take that up with our guest in this episode. But first, big stories of this week. In a major crypto heist, hackers stole cryptocurrency worth over $600 million from a digital ledger used by players of the popular online game Axie Infinity. This got revealed on Tuesday. Now, Ronin Network said the attack targeting its blockchain netted 1,73,600 Ether and $25.5 million worth of stablecoin, which is a digital asset pegged to the US dollar. Now, the haul was valued at $545 million when it was stolen on March 23rd, but was worth about $615 million. Hear that again, $615 million based on the prices on Tuesday, making it one of the largest thefts ever in the crypto world. Now, most of the hacked funds are still in the hacker's wallet, is what Ronin said in a post revealing the theft. Moving ahead, the International Monetary Fund, that is IMF, has flagged significant financial risk over allowing the use of cryptocurrencies as India deliberates with multilateral agencies and domestic institutions about a planned regulatory framework. This was said by a government official aware of the discussion as per several reports. Anand Mahindra announced yesterday that his company had entered the metaverse, an immersive 3D version of the internet that is expected to change the way people work and interact online. And if you want to get more details on what metaverse is, how it works, you can go to our YouTube or our other social media platforms and watch our explainers about metaverse. But that is the big announcement coming from Anand Mahindra. And if you want to have a look at the video that he attached to this tweet, go ahead, watch it.
It's a destination that's built to drive interoperability, to stitch it all together. It's a place that's built by doing. It's a city run by simplifiers, people who solve all problems and keep things new, efficient, and simple. So welcome to Simplicity.
Well, that's all on big stories of the week, but now we will get into our explainer of the week, which is about influencer scams. What are influencer scams is what we'll find out in this explainer, and for that we'll go to our coffee wall. Let's go. So what are influencer scams? When influencers route their followers to invest in Ponzi schemes, that essentially is influencer scams. Now, influencers use their clout or followership And then they get thousands of young followers to invest in unreliable coins or tokens. Sometimes influencers also take up paid partnerships to promote a crypto client, doing absolutely no background check and no research of the project, putting several at risk. But then there is another type of influencer scam too, where scammers pretend to be influencers. They create a fake identity of influencers and pitch new schemes to users using the recall of the influencer. An Indian finfluencer, well, that's a term for financial influencers. So an Indian finfluencer faced such an incident, and her name is Anushka Rathod. She'll be joining us in a short while. So she makes content on finance and financial advisors. So scammers created a fake account of hers and interacted with users. In one of the DMs, and we shall put it on the screen for you, the scammer tells the user, if you are interested, I have a pretty recommendation about a trading platform that could be beneficial for you, and then asked for an investment, and the amount is also mentioned there. So we have these screenshots from Anushka's original profile where she alerted her followers, writing, I have only 2 accounts, rest all are fake, trying to scam people. She tagged her 2 original accounts in the description to clarify, and she joins us for a conversation. Anushka, very warm welcome, and thank you for talking to us about this. Of course, we're discussing influencer scams, and I want to begin with asking, how were you alerted about this, Anushka?
Hi, Arun. Thanks for having me. So the first communication actually came from the people who are following me. They asked, is this your real account? Do you have a backup account? Why are you asking us for money? Do you want us to download it? And they started with screenshots. So it started with like 1 fake account, 2 fake accounts. And now there are so many fake accounts that it's becoming difficult. People are actually not even trusting the real account that I have right now.
Oh my God. Okay. And did anyone fall prey to it? Or, I mean, did anyone really invest in these Ponzi schemes that they were pitching?
Well, I believe a lot of people had conversations with these chats that were there. But then from day one, I've been posting stories and like posts as such to not communicate with them and immediately report and block them. So I don't think anyone has, but a lot of people have genuinely talked to them, and they, like, what these people do is that if I report one account, they shut that, they start a new account. So then there's new accounts and there are more followers are not aware. So they start communicating with them. And I worry someone might fall prey one day, but it hasn't happened yet.
But have you seen a spike in all these cases as the conversation around cryptocurrency has increased in the country? Like, I've seen you doing a lot of videos on this, and thanks to this new tax regime, we have so many people talking about this. Do you think that has got to do a lot with increase in such cases, if that's the case?
Well, definitely. As the crypto prices spiked, people had FOMO. And of course, there's still a lot of education that is necessary in this field. But people were seeing other people get rich very quickly, and they wanted such methods as also. And that is why they do fall prey to such schemes. So, of course, as the crypto price went up, as people started, as you know, more and more people started investing in these people on Telegram, on Twitter, on Instagram, on various channels, they started using people who are trusted, their names, to fool other people.
But do you also get those comments, I mean, on all the videos that you do about cryptocurrency, do you also get comments about people promoting their own own project, what a fumble. But, you know, I've seen this on so many videos where, for example, if I'm talking about one cryptocurrency, there would be 4 comments about cryptocurrency, but these would be some Ponzi schemes.
Definitely. I think there is some bot. There's definitely a bot, actually, I don't think, where these people, whenever you use certain hashtags, or they see that there's certain crypto or finance news that is being said, or, education is being done, they'll come with these messages, which will be like, this person's helped me so much. He's helped me double my money in 10 days. He can teach you also. Or I invested in this NFT or this scheme. You should too. To know more, follow this person. There are so many. My DMs are flooded. My comment sections are flooded. It becomes difficult to delete them because these are bots. They just spam your comment section.
Sure, and this is where I think social media platforms really need to come forward and get these bot accounts deleted. But there have also been incidents where influencers themselves have promoted an unreliable token or coin. In January 2022, some hackers interrupted YouTube servers to abruptly play the video message on hijacked accounts of influencers. That is one case. On the other hand, in 2021, members of an esports organization called FaZe Clan, they started promoting a new cryptocurrency called Save the Kids. Now, this promised to build a better world for kids through donating some proceeds of the sales of its token to charity. This made several of the young fans invest into it, but hours after the cryptocurrency token's launch, its value crashed, causing many who had invested to lose their money. Influencer who had promoted it pulled their ads, and FaZe Clan was forced to suspend 4 members who had marketed the coin. Another angle of this conversation is pump and dump schemes, which are again led by influencers. A bunch of them create a hype about one particular token. The buzz spreads from one social media platform to another, and it starts looking legit as well. We have another influencer who does a lot of content on finance on social media, Srijan Bhardwaj. A very warm welcome to you as well. Now, you and I were having a chat, and you said you've also been scammed by an influencer program, although that is different from what we've discussed already till now. Can you share some details, Srijan?
Yeah, so like I was telling you that I documented this entire thing on YouTube. So I joined a couple of YouTubers, free groups and paid groups on Discord and Telegram. And what happened was that these influencers said that we would be giving you coin tips and calls. So at certain time, we would be telling you which coins to buy. And I was documenting this entire thing, and I am already good with reading ledgers and all of these things. So what I observed was, say, for example, at 5 o'clock, at 5 p.m., if I would get a certain coin tip that go and buy this coin, the influencers would be selling the same coin around the same time. So when their followers would be buying that particular coin, they would be selling the same coin. And this is how they were making money. And this is what we call as exit liquidity for an influencer or for any whale. And this has happened with me multiple times. Like I have tracked at least 5 to 10 big YouTubers with 100,000 followers and more who have been doing this.
And Anushka, you are quite active on Instagram, and you do a lot of financial, I mean, other than cryptocurrency content, you do a lot of financial videos as well. But at the moment, when we discuss, all these Ponzi schemes being pushed by influencers, does that worry you? Because that will impact your credibility as well.
Definitely. A influencer you can trust will never ask you to buy particular thing or invest in particular thing. Never ever trust any influencer, no matter how big they are. Always do your own research, take education, learn from them, take it as a starting step, but never ever invest your money into something just because an influencer said. Because see, there are 5 good influencers, there are 20 bad influencers. That's why it is on you to do your own due diligence and not trust anyone blindly.
But
take
let's say
education from them.
Yeah, of course. But let's say an influencer is honest in all its intention, and they, promoting one scheme or a platform or an app, and that seems legit. But if it turns out to be, let's say, a Ponzi scheme, who is to be blamed here?
See, first of all, of course, the influencer is to blame here. Whenever we do partnerships, it's on us to promote something which is credible, which has substance, and which has absolutely zero probability when we are promoting to be a scam. That is on influencers. That is something we have to take ownership of. And that's why when, if you're trusting someone, make sure that they have this consistency in being credible and they don't promote any random things whatsoever.
Sure, that's a great tip. Srijan, any other tips from you? I mean, how does one stay alert?
The best way to stay alert is by not trusting anyone and having a healthy skepticism, since we know that crypto is a very unregulated and highly manipulated market. And like I shared that I have documented a lot of influencers doing all of these things. The more interesting thing here, Arun, is that a lot of influencers don't even know that they're promoting scammy coins or they're promoting Ponzi schemes.
That's what I was saying.
They get to know about it pretty late. So the thing is that the whole technology and the whole space is so new that people who are not very familiar with reading ledgers and understanding how the contracts work, even they can be scammed. because this whole technology is very new. So the best way is, even if you are following, like I have now made a rule, okay, if anyone recommends me anything, I only buy one recommendation a month. That's it. So it could be from my favorite influencer, my favorite YouTuber, my friend, or anyone. And I never put more money than I can afford to lose, because I have this simple thing that I won't invest more than, say, 1,000 rupees in anyone's recommendation, because even if I lose it, then that's okay. But at the end of the day, it's my responsibility.
Sure. Thank you so very much. That's all the time we had for this discussion. So I would say what you can do is like wear specs of skepticism and see everything with suspicion. And if you have trust issues, good for you, because that is going to help in your crypto journey. Time for a very short break. But after the break, we'll be talking about how markets are doing as we enter into an absolutely new financial year. Keep watching Coffee and Crypto. Hi, you're watching Coffee and Crypto. We've discussed influencer scams, and now we'll be analyzing the market here as well. We've entered into an absolutely new financial year, and is that really creating an impact on the market? We'll ask our experts, but before that, we'll just tell you how markets are really doing. Now, there you have Bitcoin, and we have two different parameters here, last 24 hours and last 7 days as well. And I would go by last 7 days, and most of these are in green. We're talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, USD Coin, and Solana as well. And now let's give you top gainers and top losers of the market. And in gainers, you have Digital Fitness, then you have Move, GMT, Venu, and ZIL. And on the other hand, let's also take a quick look at the top losers in the last week. And there you have JAM, MTS, MBX, MICE, and DFA. Now let's go across to our guests who are joining us at the moment. This is Sharad Chandra, VP Research and Strategy, Earth ID, which is a global decentralized self-sovereign identity management platform. A very warm welcome, Sharad. We're discussing markets, and markets have been in the green and rallying in the last week. In fact, Bitcoin even touched its highest of 2022, highest in the last 3 months. But today, markets tanked again, and this on a day when India rolls out new tax regime for cryptocurrency. Do you see markets get better for India as we enter into the new financial year?
So at this point in time, it's difficult to say that given the global headwinds, right, of inflation, high interest rates, so how the markets will perform going forward. But there's a broader shift in the way investors are looking at markets now, given the new tax regulation which has kicked in from today, right? So investors are looking at maybe having a long-term view, so they will shift towards making investments like SIP, right? So there are a couple of crypto exchanges, they have rolled out products where you can make smaller investments, something on the lines of SIP, which also gives investors the benefit of compounding, right? So I would see a broader shift in way investment will be done by investors. That's one particular major point.
So essentially, of course, there are global factors at play when we talk about crypto markets. But, you know, this is an absolutely new financial year. A new tax regime has come into play here in our country. And I was reading a few reports which said that several crypto investors or traders are actually taking a break for years, because what they've done is they've taken their money out before this year ended, and now they want to take a pause. Will that impact?
In the short term, yes, because a couple of exchanges, they also reported massive sell-offs a couple of days ago, just before the financial year ended. But it will also get more investors in, people who are trying out crypto for the first time. They can, as I said, right, maybe they can start investing in smaller amounts through SIPs. So that's one way to look at it as well.
But the entire, I mean, of course, it's again, you can't say this, but let's say for a longer term, for this year, how is it really looking for you in India? I mean, do you see people are being encouraged, or do you see a bit of hesitance there in the crypto investor?
So there's a lot of skepticism as far as the new tax is concerned, right? Because the TDS will lock a significant amount of money, even for market makers, right? So as and when the TDS kicks in from July onwards, right? If the community can engage with the government and regulators as well. And if this part can be rationalized to 0.01%, that's what the industry is saying in as a consensus voice, right? So I think once that happens, then people will start moving into this new asset class.
Sure.
But the tax has to be rationalized.
Sure, and when I said you can't say, I meant like you can't predict, because it's quite a long period there. But thank you so very much for talking to us, Mr. Chandra. And now on to our next segment, which is My Crypto Queries, MCQ. And for that, we have Rohas Nagpal. He's written the Crypto Playbook and also a Chief Blockchain Architect at Hi-Fi Blockchain. Rohas, a very warm welcome. And now we'll be putting up these queries for you. First question comes from Satwinder, and it is, why have the prices of green metaverse token risen so much?
Sure. So let me just give you a background. So there is this platform called StepN where you can buy NFT sneakers, not real sneakers, NFT virtual sneakers. And then you go outside your house, put your GPS on, and depending on how much you run, walk or jog, you earn tokens, the GMT and GPS tokens. And then you can use that to mint new sneakers and sell them. Now you'll be surprised to know that from March 11th, when the price was about 1 cent, or 10 cents, I think it was about, it has jumped to about $3 in just about a month's time. But I think this is all based on speculation that they may be announcing a partnership with Nike, Adidas, and Binance. I think it's extremely speculative. I tried to use their site. I never even got the activation code. So I'm very apprehensive, and I would want people to be very careful with this.
Okay, I mean, what's your point of worry here? What's the biggest worry that you have?
Because this entire price jump is based on a speculation that they may announce a partnership with Nike, Adidas, and Binance, which may not even come through. And secondly, their app doesn't work. I'm not able to get an activation code, so that immediately makes me wary that something is wrong in this one.
Well, thanks for clarifying that. Amir has a question. What about the Zilliqa coin?
Sure. So Zilliqa is a public blockchain which was launched in 2019. Now, I as a blockchain architect work on 16 different blockchains, but I have never got an inquiry to work on Zilliqa. So I have not really seen Zilliqa having much traction in the market, and the competitors to it are so many and so much better in technology. I don't see much future for this. It's currently about 19 cents and a $2.5 billion market cap, which is not so great for a blockchain which has been in existence for so many years. So I'm not convinced about it. There's nothing special in it.
Okay. Of our conversation, our conversation off the show, we've also discussed Pi Network once, but Prakash asked, is Pi Network really a cryptocurrency?
No, actually it is not. So what happens is users are giving information to the mobile app, they view ads, and they can message other people. That's about it. So it is sort of like a multi-level marketing, but for user data. And I think the only people who make money are the founders because they are getting money from the ads that come on it. But I don't see any practical use of Pi Network.
And you anyway see multi-level marketing schemes with a suspicion, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's move on to our next question. How is central bank digital currency different from regular currency?
Sure. That's a very good question. So regular currency is also issued by the central bank, but they can give it to you in paper form, coins, or in the private databases of banks, which is what we have as e-money today, in our mobile wallets. But in a CBDC, instead of the bank holding these in their databases, imagine that the central bank would be issuing this on a technology platform of its own. And you could actually bypass the banks, and directly individuals could have accounts with the central bank, and we could all use that one single account, which may be linked, let's say, to our Aadhaar card. So in that way, it becomes quite different.
But Rohas, like several supporters of CBDC, they say that, this will revolutionize the crypto space in the country. But do you see that happening? Because essentially it's just the digital form of the conventional currency.
So while I'm a very big fan of CBDC, I don't think it will have any impact on the crypto markets per se. It is not really meant for the crypto market.
But definitely an encouragement for the basis of cryptocurrency, that is blockchain and other setup?
Possibly, but it is not necessary that a CBDC has to run on blockchain.
Sure.
That is a misconception. CBDC can run on any technology framework, not necessarily blockchain.
Although the government has been using blockchain in several other projects, whether it's about
right.
like degrees or even vaccination certificates or vaccination data. Several state governments have used blockchain in past. Okay, let's move on to our next question, which is, if I invest in crypto with two different accounts, how would it be in the tax criteria?
Okay, it's the same thing. It's like, you have money in your left pocket and your right pocket. Now, if you keep moving money between those pockets, your tax liability does not change. So while moving money from one account to another is not in itself a taxable transaction because you have not actually sold it to a third party. But you have to calculate your profits across all your wallets and then pay 30% tax on them.
Right. That's all the queries that we had. But before I let you go, what is your take on the new tax regime and its relation to the market? Of course, there are several international factors at play when we talk about cryptocurrency market. But do you see any impact being created after this new tax regime?
I'm sure a lot of people have liquidated yesterday and they are now thinking when they should get back into the market, or a lot of traders, they are already using only the foreign exchanges. So I think what we need to watch for is how is this going to impact the Indian crypto exchanges? Are they going to have much lower liquidity? In which case then even normal users who otherwise don't want to go to a foreign exchange will probably have to move there because of the lack of liquidity here. So that I think is the biggest question. And only the exchanges will be able to answer that.
Okay, thank you so very much, Rohas, for joining us for this conversation. With that, we've come to an end of this show. This is Coffee and Crypto. I'm Arun Singh. It's goodbye from my side.
Crypto products and NFTs are unregulated and can be highly risky. There may be no regulatory recourse for any loss from such transactions.